and I think it's one thing I've talked about a lot, but kind of like want to almost hammer it home. There's very few lenders that actually do business acquisition financing,
Yeah.
especially in the SBA world. And unfortunately, there's a lot of banks that don't have very experienced people, or for whatever the reason, they kind of go around telling people, yeah, we can do it. It's something we can do. And I mean, you even get to the point where you move,
Yeah.
and then they finally pull the rug out from under you. And it's really frustrating for the other lenders that actually do business acquisition financing, because we're telling people, hey, that lender doesn't do that. They're not one of the 3 or 4 banks that actually does and does it, well, or does it a lot. And people don't believe us because they kind of relate it to mortgage and think, oh, everybody does mortgage, everybody does FHA, everybody does it exactly the same. And they don't understand that it's very different. So, unfortunately that happens from time to time. So when it comes to like the process of making an offer, going through the lending side, actually closing on the business, is there any piece of advice that you could give to somebody else that's looking to buy in a similar way?
Yeah, I think, what I'll say is, I know for some people that I talk to, they'll say things like, hey, the SBA is going to do most of the work for me, and they're going to vet the business, and they're going to make sure that it's profitable. I always tell people, you need to do your own homework on that business. You need to evaluate the business properly and have as much face time with the previous owner as possible to really understand, the operations. Forget about, the skills, right? The technical skills of the business itself, but understanding, the financials of the business, understanding the key players in that industry is going to be very important. Who you're going to be working with, who's who, your vendors, and those kind of people are going to be very important for you to understand. And also knowing if there are opportunities for growth, because that's very big, right? You're stepping into a situation where you're going to have debt.
Mm-hmm.
And as we know with the SBA, it can go up and down with, the rates are
variable.
They're variable, they fluctuate. So with that being said, you need to always keep in mind that you want to have much more, right, than what's being analyzed, basically.
Yeah, unfortunately, with anything SBA related, you can't go anywhere near cannabis. So even if they support it, it's actually kind of crazy. So even if you, for example, I had one that was a security company, and like 99% of the revenue was traditional, concerts, independent, individual security, that type of stuff. And then they had one little part of it that was just taking over the stores and making sure nobody was coming into the stores, and we couldn't do anything for them.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm assuming eventually down the road it'll lighten up or whatever. But